Since it's Terry Crews, I'm gonna imagine myself moving my pecs.
Yes, Peyton, if it helps you to play box more effectively, just jiggle them titties.
Do not make direct eye contact with me when you do that.
In 2018, Sony Pictures released Venom, which was panned by critics yet praised by audiences. It had nothing to do with Spider-Man. With the success, Sony ran it all to the ground with sequels, A Living Vampire, and Amazonian Spider Societies. Now, in 2024, three small-time writers pitch movies to try and fix this tangled web of a franchise. I'm Jared.
I'm Peyton.
I'm Noah. And this is...
Has to do with Spider-Man, I think? Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Welcome to Has to do with Spider-Man, I think.
Get that ASMR shit out of here.
Okay. Somebody else do the intro then, because I'm going to be doing an ASMR style.
Okay. Ready? Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Has to do with Spider-Man, I think. This is our second re-record. After the downloading fiasco from a few months back, we lost two of our recordings, and this will officially catch us back up and put us back on track as we head into the end of our phase one and our eventual big final hopeful coalescing of this everything that has come out up to this point, and then we will officially have free reign to continue even farther forward and do our own thing. So Noah, why don't you give us an idea of what this new pitch is? Give us an explanation as if we have no clue.
It's been like 4 months since the last time we recorded this. So much has happened in that time. I am a completely new man from the person I was when I started writing Montana. But anyway, yes, that's what this is. This is a pitch called Montana and the Enforcers. The Enforcers are a trio of nobody goons who have existed in Spider-Man comics for a while. The Enforcers, at least nowadays, are probably best known for their appearances in Spectacular Spider-Man, which is a great show, and it's where a lot of my inspiration was taken from. And they made an appearance in my first pitch, El Muerto, wherein they were members of the tournament trying to make it through, and they did a horrible job. They were kicked out pretty much immediately. But somehow, in the act of writing El Muerto and including the Enforcers, and thinking about what my next pitch would be, I ended up falling deeply in love with the character of Montana, who's the leader of the Enforcers, almost entirely because I casted Walton Goggins as Montana, and I love Walton Goggins.
Rightfully so. America's sweetheart,
Walton Goggins. And so, that led to Montana being my next pitch. It comes out of nowhere. It's a little bit of an odd decision, I'll admit. But I am very excited to present this pitch. It's kind of a mob movie. It's kind of a buddy cop movie, except they're all criminals. And there's some twists and turns inside to create a very interesting installment in our Spum series.
So who's your director for this pitch?
I would like to present Steven Soderbergh as my director. He is big on heist movies. He has Ocean's 11 under his belt. He's got Magic Mike, Logan Lucky, some very good fast-talking movies about fast people doing fast crimes and everything. And without further ado, would you guys like to hop into this pitch?
Maybe.
Okay.
I'd like to start this pitch by making both of you aware that I fully anticipate a Blue Harvest joke, and I'm not here for it.
Okay. There's no Blue Harvest joke.
Liar.
I'm being completely serious. I blew my Blue Harvest joke last time because
blue.
Because it was in and that's why this pitch is called Blue Harvest.
It's gonna blew his load.
Okay. And so without further ado, let's begin. My pitch, submitting to Sony Pictures for their consideration.
Except not really.
Except not really, because this is a false pitch with false people. Montana.
Woo!
Act 1. We open on the streets of New York City with a bird's eye view sweeping down, eventually coming to street level. It is a rainy night, hazy, with the neon of billboards and streetlights adding to the unnatural fuzz. People walk to and fro along the sidewalks, going to restaurants or stores or anything like that, having a peaceful, if wet, evening, until the peace is broken when a car comes barreling down the street, pursued by a sleek motorcycle much nicer than the car itself. The motorcyclist, whose face is obscured by a dark helmet, looks towards his pursuers. Brandishing a pistol, he fires off a few shots. The car swerves, but one shot hits the back windshield, cracking it badly. The three men inside the car, Fancy Dan in the driver's seat, Ox in the back, and Montana in the passengers, curse loudly.
Watch it, Dan. I felt the wind on that one.
Can't see anything in this mess. Besides, it should be your turn to drive.
We drew straws. Not my fault you failed your driver's test 3 times, right?
Make sure the next bullet goes through your brain.
Dan swerves to make the point, as the car is peppered by another round of fire. In the passenger seat, Montana, wearing a cowboy hat and focused on the motorcycle behind them, tut-tuts. Gentlemen, let us focus on our common enemy. We can't afford to bungle this one again.
It would be much easier if our car wasn't destroyed by the time we catch up.
Shut.
Quiet. As long as we get off these side streets and into traffic, we'll be able to lose them. Dan sighs.
You say so, boss.
Dan slams the gas pedal to the floor, pushing the car to its limits. The two vehicles blaze through the streets, kicking up neon puddles in their wake. A woman and child along the sidewalk scream as a passing wave splashes them. The sound of police sirens can be heard in the distance.
The Blues are on the way.
Then let's make this quick, mi amigos. The bike catches up to the car and sidles up to the passenger side. The driver motions to roll the window down. Montana obliges and nods a greeting.
You 3 have got one chance to give back the case.
Sir, I hate to be a bother, but we nabbed this fair and square. Could you be a pal and scooch on your way? The motorcyclist's head tilts towards Montana as if in disbelief before focusing back on the road.
You're out of your league.
Rude.
Well, we tried diplomacy.
Did you bring a gun?
I don't need one, son. Montana brandishes a bullwhip from under his seat and unfurls it.
What did we say about your gimmicks?
It'll work. I promise. Montana leans out the window of the car, immediately drenched by the rain dripping off of his hat's brim. Still close to the motorcycle, he concentrates and then cracks the whip in the direction of their quarry. The cyclist dodges easily, but with the second crack, he is forced to hop onto the sidewalk. Unfazed, he knocks over pedestrians cowering under umbrellas. In one expert move, the cyclist uses a car parked along the side of the road as a ramp to leap over the enforcer's vehicle, and is now on the driver's side. He starts pushing them towards the sidewalk, forcing them to take his route.
He's driving us now, boss.
The cyclist herds them all the way to a dead-end section of the street, closed to road work. The enforcer's car swings around in a U-turn to return to the street, but the cyclist is in the way.
I'm impressed.
Let's play chicken.
Both vehicles begin burning rubber. Montana has a grin on his face, always enjoying a standoff. Dan grips the wheel with determination, and Ox holds onto the seats for dear life. Just as the car accelerates, though, the cyclist fires a shot and pops the passenger's side tire, nonchalantly rolling out of the way as Dan loses control of the car. Damn. Bail! The three enforcers leap out of the car as it slips across the road, catches air, and spins end over end into the street, causing a pileup before resting and eventually catching fire. In the chaos, the cyclist drives up to the wreck and retrieves a case from inside before zooming off into the night. The enforcers catch their breath as the police sirens get closer. Dan pounds the sidewalk as Ox brushes himself off. Montana straightens his hat. Just a setback, boys. Nothing we ain't seen before. Montana stares at the flaming wreck in front of him as red and blue lights flash. His brow furrows. This scene feels oddly emblematic of his entire life. He turns to face the sirens, straightening his collar and helping the two other men to their feet. Eyes up, enforcers. Let's spin this one pretty as a peach. Title card. Montana and the Enforcers. A neon logo with lightning flashing behind.
Me likey.
Me likey.
We get a quick flashing montage as the enforcers are processed at the police station. You know, like the quick, like, snappy mugshot kind of thing, as they're on the line. As they take their mugshots, the names of the enforcers in neon flash across the screen, beginning with Fancy Daniel Brillo, played by Mike Faist, of Challengers fame. A skinny man wearing a maroon vest and pants with a mousy mustache. Ox, aka Ray Block, played by Terry Crews, wearing an orange turtleneck with a black jacket on top. And finally, Jackson Bryce, aka Montana, played by Walton Goggins, wearing a cowboy hat and dark brown coat. Montana is carted away to a cell, clearly plotting. While reclining on the cot in his cell, one of the guards opens the door.
Get up, cowboy. Your bail's been posted.
Really? Is my mama finally returning my calls?
No, sir. It's your sugar daddy.
Another man enters Montana's cell. FBI agent Al Rodriguez, played by Al Madrigal, last seen in 2022's hit film Morbius.
Woo!
Rodriguez nods at the guard who leaves the cell. Montana sits up. Now what does me the pleasure of entertaining a Fed today?
Agent Rodriguez. Benefactor is what brings me here, Mr. Bryce.
I prefer Montana.
Sure, Dakota. The job you were on last night was for Joseph Martello, also known as Hammerhead, correct?
He sets us up every now and then.
What was the package you were carrying?
Who knows?
We want to know.
Can't help you.
This some kind of boss worker confidential southern hospitality bullshit?
I consider myself very cordial in all areas of life, Agent Rodriguez. But I'm telling the truth. Hammerhead points us in the general direction, and we get the job done. Simple as.
That why you ended up in here? Got the job done?
Montana bristles at this. I told you, Rodriguez, I can't help you. It was a pickup job for just another shiny briefcase. Been a million briefcases in my day. The job didn't pan out exactly how I expected. No sense crying over spilled milk.
Uh-huh. Well, Mr. Virginia, thank you for your cooperation. Hammerhead posted bail for the three of you. Enjoy your second chance at freedom.
Second chance. Wonderful to meet you, Agent. Rodriguez leaves the cell and Montana relaxes back onto the cot. Maybe Hammerhead will be lenient with him after all. He lays down on the cot. Cut to a fist slams onto a desk, echoing through a massive office. Montana, Dan, and Ox are standing in the office of the crime lord Hammerhead, sweating. Hammerhead's office is big and ostentatious, but also sparse. It is the top floor of Hammerhead's tower, with floor-to-ceiling windows looking out over the city. The supports between the window frames are sharp and angled, reminiscent of shark's teeth. In fact, the office itself feels a bit like a shark tank, with neon blue lights ringing the space and matching the neon themes we've seen so far. Light from a sequestered lab on the end of the office is stark white and eerie. The vibes are very slick and high-tech, which is meant to feel a bit off compared to what we see of the Hammerhead. Once again, it is pouring rain outside. Hammerhead sits at his desk with a hand on his chin. He is played by, in prosthetics to mold his forehead into a hammer-like shape, America's sweetheart, Brendan Fraser. A bright neon blue Hammerhead title underlines the scene. He is framed by two bodyguards, a brother and sister duo named Vito and Kay, no relation to the Corleones. A little to the left is an older, timid woman wearing a workman's apron.
You three suck. You know that?
The enforcers shift awkwardly.
When I give you a job, I expect you to finish it. I think that's a fair expectation. You've done that before, haven't you?
Mr.
I'm not finished monologuing. It's part of being a respected henchman. See, back when I was cutting my teeth with the Magia, they gave me a job, and I would pass with flying, mostly red, colors, because of all the blood. It got me to where I am today. You three clearly don't have that finesse. You've worn me thin, enforcers. Last night's loss.
It's Montana's fault. If he hadn't used that whip last night, we would have had the guy.
The whip stays. It's a badge of honor.
Dan, we all gotta have a gimmick.
To imprecise, Hammerhead knocks his forehead with his knuckles, and there's a distinct metal clank clang.
That whip is the least of your worries. What about that case was so special anyways?
And why did you have us stealing from the Maggia of all people?
Innovation, Ox. Tinkerer?
Hammerhead glances at the older woman to his side, who steps forward sheepishly. This is the Tinkerer, played by Catherine O'Hara.
Ms. Mason is fine, sir. Boys, what Mr. Martello means is that inside the case was a very special component for a very special project we've been working on. Without that piece, it'll be difficult to move forward, which makes me unhappy. Which makes Mr. Martello unhappy, which makes
the Lord Jesus unhappy on my account.
what?
You're fired. That's that.
Montana is taken aback. Sir, I'm sorry for the mistakes, but I'm sure that...
You're done, Montana. It's not just the case. The hit on Owl's hideout. It's the gun deal on the harbor. It's the abysmal performance during that tournament in Mexico. You ain't done much to inspire confidence in your competence. I can't have you on my payroll anymore when it's clear all three of you are just kinda idiots.
I'll have you know that...
I posted bail for old time's sake, because hey, you've been loyal. With yesterday's flub, though, you're never getting a job in this town again. That's just how it is. Veto K, throw him out.
The two bodyguards start pushing the trio towards the door. We put up with a lot for you, Hammerhead. You'll regret this.
Boys, nothing in your track record says that I should take that threat seriously. Have a nice life, enforcers.
The trio is pushed out the door with no small amount of protest, and Ox nearly starts a fistfight. Cut to the three outside of Hammerhead's tower, caught in the soaking rain. Don't worry, boys. He can't possibly be serious about kicking us out for good. Now, I don't know if this would be a montage or like extended scenes, but we see the enforcers try and fail to talk to the other big crime lords for jobs, like the Owl, the grubbiest of the lot, and Tombstone. Each time they're thrown out of the room before they can get a word in edgewise. The Manfredi family is the worst, as they had just robbed them the night before. Sure, the case was returned and the enforcers made money for them, but no job. They are not very well respected in the Manfredi's Maggia. Clearly, word gets around fast. They are now back outside Hammerhead's tower, dejected.
You've screwed us, Montana. We had a good thing going with Martello. Now, because you couldn't take a job seriously for once, we're kicked to the curb.
We trusted you. You promised you'd take care of the three of us, and now look where that's got us.
Montana stands quietly for a moment, looking up towards the top floor of the tower with water dripping off his Stetson. Car lights streak by. He sneers, then turns to his partners. A car's headlights illuminate his eyes underneath the brim. I'm sorry, boys. Deeply. Tell you what, drinks are on me. We cut to the bar with no name. The enforcers, with the cloud over their heads, sit at a booth with drinks in their hands. The table is already filled with empty glasses. They've been here a while. Ox is trying to lighten the mood.
Do you guys remember that job at the zoo we pulled? I can't believe we were able to grab that big old rhino.
Yeah, I remember. Never figured out what the freak show scientists wanted with it, did we?
Some geneticist bullshit, I think. Wild. You nearly got kebabbed, Oxy.
I could have fought him. Punch him right in the face.
Ox swings his fist to prove his point, but swings too hard to lose his balance and knocks his friend on the table. The three men laugh drunkenly. Ox sighs.
I'm gonna miss it. Yeah, I'll miss the fun.
Montana smirks. What if we don't have to miss it? Fellas, I've got a pitch for you. It's a good one. Promise. Hammerhead, he's a jerk. No good. Why don't we take him down? Ox and Dan blanch, and Dan sobers up immediately. Dan looks around quickly before glaring at his drunk leader. It may be their imagination, but it seems like a guy at the counter is looking right at him.
You can't be saying things like that, Montana. Hammer's goons could be in here.
Ah, screw him. Come on, hear me out. Something Hammer said got to me. Fella went on and on about working his way up to the top and how it takes a special finesse to do it. We've been in this town almost longer than anybody, right? We know the works, we know the ins and outs. We know how to hit Hammerhead where it hurts because we've been everywhere he works. I want to take care of you both. You're my buddies, mi amigos, my boys. I can't stand to see us in the lurch like this. Hammerhead needs to be taken down a peg. Remind him of where he came from. We can do it. Ox and Dan both look uncomfortably back and forth. They may be considering it, but nowhere near the point Montana is. He's too drunk to notice that they look very spooked by this proposition. In fact, he starts to lean back in his chair and puts his hat over his eyes. Sleep on it, folks. This could be a blessing in disguise for the enforcers. We'll be the ones making the rules for once. Cut 2, Montana wakes up in his bed. A dingy, rundown apartment with bright yellow light leaching through a bent window shade. He smacks his lips, the taste of alcohol still on them. He puts on a new change of clothes, tosses back some Tylenol, and grabs his phone from the side table to call the others. Next to the phone on the side table is a small picture frame with 2 young boys covered in paintball paint. Taking out Hammerhead. What was I thinking? Suddenly, there's a knock at the door. Montana opens it, rubbing sleep out of his eyes, and sees Ox and Dan at the door.
Well, we slept on it.
You really think we have a chance to take him down?
Montana smiles, genuinely proud of his 2 friends. We're the enforcers. We've had some bad breaks here and there, but we're still living. Not many could say that. Probably Providence or something. I think we can.
Well, we have something for you. After you passed out, we did some thinking and then some snooping. There was a Hammerhead goon listening in. We were able to get this.
Ox hands Montana a slip of paper with an address.
That's the Tinkerer's address. Hammerhead has some firepower. We want a chance at taking him down. Need some punch for ourselves.
So what I'm hearing is...
Gimmicks. We'll all have gimmicks.
Now that's what I'm talking about. Good work, you 2. I'm happy you all came around. I have been wanting some new duds for a bit. The enforcers work together to raid the Tinkerer's home, a quaint little place in one of New York City's suburbs. Plan is simple. They're not going to harm, kidnap, or God forbid, kill the Tinkerer. She's always been pretty nice to the 3. But they will spook her into making some toys for the group. We can watch their skills as a unit as they set their mind to it here. Ox is the muscle, obviously, but also as careful as a scalpel when he needs to be, cracking the back door with barely a sound. Dan is the scout, brandishing 2 pistols and scoping the area. Montana directs with only his lasso as a weapon. We could have a bit of a argument scene as they're walking in and trying to whisper, where they're trying to make him set down the lasso and he refuses point blank. The house is normal, suburban living, if a bit messy. No sign of their quarry on the top or bottom floors, which leaves the basement. The gang opens the basement door and sees a workshop covered in blueprints, project scraps, tools, and foreclosure notices. Lady, I won't tell you how to take care of your home, but... A larger metal door slams shut over the exit. The lights go black. The sound of a switch is flipped as a massive drone drops from the basement ceiling wielding 2 shock prods. The only illumination is from the bright green central eye of the drone, also a bright neon green. The trio dives.
The hell is this?
Fascinating what it is. After some slight panic and more action than I'm willing to devote to this scene, Montana proves his skills with the whip and wrangles the drone to the ground, so Dan can shoot it out of commission. Another drone tries to drop, but Ox grabs it midair and hurls it to the ground. Montana stares at the shock prods with interest. Ox fumbles around for the light switch and sight is restored. The old woman, once thought timid, is sitting at her workbench without the least bit of worry. In fact, she seems to be thrilled to see the enforcers here.
Well, drones can be replaced.
A green Tinkerer title card flashes below the screen. Ma'am, we'd like to hire your services in a business venture you might find intriguing.
He says hire. You'll be helping us either way.
What are you all doing here? I thought Hammerhead fired you. Ha, see, funny thing is,
We're taking him down, and we think you can make us some stuff to help.
why me?
Ox holds up some chest armor laying on a nearby table and eyes it greedily.
Got some cool stuff here.
Hammerhead probably doesn't allow for a lot of creativity in your employment. We're willing to let you run wild. Make stuff beyond Hammerhead's stuffy iPhone aesthetics. Just don't tell him you're working with us. We'll be golden. At the mention of complete creative control, Tinkerer seems to light up.
And you promise you'll protect me if things go sideways? Yeah, sure. Just make us look cool.
Montana looks back at the sputtering shock prod on the floor. We each need a new gimmick. I want some of that juice. Our first night in the town needs to be shocking.
Oh, I can do shocking.
Cut to the docks. Hammerhead's goons are receiving a shipment of arms from offshore. The crates read Sable International, and several of the goons are inspecting the guns closely. Suddenly, Goon starts yelling about intruders on the premises and fires a flurry of bullets backwards. A bright purple laser blast hits him in the head and he falls to the ground, dead. A fight breaks out on the docks behind massive shipping containers as the goons try to figure out where their assailants are coming from. Using the Sable guns, they fire off blindly into the shadows, before two guys are sent flying backwards into the water. Finally, the head goon orders more of his men to search the containers, before a snaking yellow whip, crackling with electricity, ensnares the leader and electrocutes him into submission. Emerging from the shadow of the containers is our three heroes. Ox with chest and gauntlet augmentation, Dan with a glowing visor and dull pistols to match, and Montana, wearing a padded yellow and brown suit swinging an extendable electro whip with relish. Of course, he still has his cowboy hat. It's worth noting that the style of the tech is very distinct from Hammerhead's. This is the case not just to hide Tinkerer's handiwork, but to hint that this is the kind of tech she wants to design anyway. Bulky, industrial, and mean. Montana rests on an upturned case of guns like a bandit claiming a table at an Old West saloon. Dan expertly twirls his firearms and Ox pounds his fists. We'll be taking these off your hands. It's nothing personal, boys. We just have business with your boss. Montana slings the whip. Hard cut to our second title card. Shocker and the Enforcers.
I like that. Kind of reminds me of going from Falcon and the Winter Soldier to Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
That was the main inspiration there.
I like it.
I'm liking it.
This movie would be a nightmare to market.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of our movies would be a nightmare to market. And looking on Sony's track record, I mean, there might have been one or two trailers for Craven, so I feel like Sony doesn't really care.
No, I don't think so.
Nonetheless, I really enjoy this first act. I think that you set up these characters really well. What we got in El Muerto was a pretty nice glimpse at Montana especially, and so I kind of like lifting up Ox and Dan too. I think that the side characters that you're introducing is really fun too. It's kind of doing something that we all enjoyed in Craven, which was that there were other metas that were out there, and some of it just kind of wasn't explained. I mean, there is an explanation for Hammerhead having metal in his freaking brain, in his cranium area, but I think that this is like really cool examination of the underground that you have.
Absolutely. That is the main crux, kind of. I really like the idea of expanding the criminal underground a lot, making sure that we have more of the, like, how New York City functions in the crime areas and everything. Just so when we finally get to a point where we're more comfortable with exploring, like, say, Spider-Man or something in New York, we have an established world that he is coming into.
Speaking of Craven and how that movie dealt with like a variety of powered individuals instead of just Craven versus evil Craven, Morbius versus evil Morbius. You seem to have teased a Rhino connection here.
Yeah, was that in the previous draft or was this in
I
like an
don't think so. I
update?
remember there being mention of a Rhino, but the geneticist stuff is definitely new.
Yeah.
Well, that was a direct connection back to Craven, because I think at this point we didn't know that Rhino was going to be in Craven. And
Mhm.
originally, that line was just meant to be like a, haha, they might have wrangled a Rhino and sold him to a Russian guy somewhere. But now that we know that there was a Rhino at some point, maybe the enforcers got the Rhino and sold him to geneticist Miles Warren for experimentation.
I really like how this shapes up and sets up the rest of this pitch.
Yeah, I'm very happy with how I've been able to set up these characters, where they come
Mm.
from El Muerto and everything. I think it's a very solid beginning.
Catherine O'Hara as Tinker is a pretty inspired choice. I actually like that a lot.
Hmm.
No, I was very proud of that. But because I think this is a solid beginning, that's why I gave this the working title "The Beginning," which was also the working title of 1999's Star Wars: The Phantom Menace.
Oh man. I was thinking you were gonna go with a Blue Oasis thing because that's currently the working title for Spider-Man 4. With Tom Holland as Blue Oasis. Oh my god. We have our cameras on right now, and Jarrett looks so melancholy.
On the one hand, I haven't been blue harvested, so I don't think I have the grounds to be as pissed off as I am. So I'm just going to ignore it and we can move on.
Good one,
Okay.
Noah.
You went out of your way to look up what the working titles for other Star Wars movies were, didn't you?
No, I've had that one in the tank for a while.
The moment I heard the word working title, I was like, here we go. And then it wasn't Blue Harvest. I was like, where is this going?
I originally was gonna call this the beginning. Ridiculous. You
The
are
longer we sit
ridiculous,
here, the
bro.
more
Thank you.
irritated I
Thank
get.
you very much.
Do we want to dive into Act 2?
We absolutely want to dive into Act 2.
Please.
Act 2 of Shocker and the Enforcers.
Woo.
After the second title card, we return to the docks. A ritzy car pulls up to the aftermath of the melee. A servant opens the rear door to assist the passenger, but the passenger flings it open furiously. It is Hammerhead. On the other side of the car, the Tinkerer also emerges, back under her more timid facade. Police are already on the scene but cower when Hammerhead arrives. Agent Rodriguez is also on the premises and approaches the crime lord.
Mr. Martello, bit shocked to see you out and about.
Hammerhead scoffs. The two have history.
I'd watch the tone, Rodriguez. It's a miracle you're still in the bureau anyway. After, what was it? Chasing a mummy through Midtown?
Not quite.
So, who stole my stuff?
And killed your men? The investigation is ongoing, and for your sake, I suggest you step back. Whatever deal went wrong here, I technically don't have anything to hold on you since the merchandise is gone.
Well, I hope you catch him, dirtbag.
The docks are a mess. Police tape rings the area. Dead bodies of the crime lord's men lie everywhere. Floorboards are torn up and singed, and puddles of water are still sparking. Most importantly, though, the crates of guns are gone. Hammerhead turns to one of his goons.
The recordings?
Blues and feds are crawling all over the place. We'll never get anything from that.
That ain't good enough. Whoever did this, they're ahead of me. I can't allow that.
If I may, sir, what if these assailants were just able to use the sable guns against your men?
I've never seen sable guns do anything like this.
Hammerhead gestures to the scorch marks peppering the floorboards. Almost whip-like.
Tinkerer, we need that part. I can't have anyone coming after my stuff who've got something better than me. I can't allow it.
Yes, sir.
A second goon walks up to the conversation.
Boss, we found something weird.
Weird good? Or weird, I might shoot the next person who brings me bad news in the motherfucking head.
Probably the last one, boss.
I appreciate the honesty. You'll live.
Goon 2, let's call him Brody, leads the two leaders to another scorched area of the docks, away from the police.
Weird, right?
Written into the wooden planks in large, smoldering gashes is this: "We resign, Hammy." Hammerhead is visibly stunned.
Well, I didn't know they had it in them.
Hammerhead turns to Brody.
You, Scorchy.
Brody.
I could still shoot you later. Always remember that. Get the guys to put a hit out on Jackson Bryce, Raymond Block, and Daniel Brito. The enforcers have gotten a little too big for the britches.
To the Tinkerer.
I will not be outdone by a two-bit swindler who cosplays Clint Eastwood.
Yes, sir, Mr. Martello.
"So, do you have anything else for us to do?" Hammerhead, already bristling, grabs Goon 1 by the shoulders and viciously headbutts him with a sickly metallic thud. The Goon's skull immediately cracks, but the boss continues until his entire head is caved in.
Jeez, Noah.
Hammerhead tosses him away. With blood dripping down his face, he points at Brody.
Make sure you're watching your mouth, Scorchy.
Yes, sir.
Hammerhead storms off the dock and back to his car, fuming.
I love random, vicious scenes of violence. I love it when an otherwise PG-13 movie randomly shows somebody being disemboweled or like head caved in. I love it.
Yes.
Ah!
Cut to Montana's apartment. The enforcers toast and throw back another beer. Their first mission was a complete success.
I didn't know we had it in us. Oxy, did you think we had it in us?
Put on a show like that. I know we've been good, but we never been that good.
You're becoming more and more just Larry the Cable Guy.
Well, dang.
Ox holds up his gauntlet.
I feel like Superman with these eggs. Or like Hancock.
Will Smith? You feel like a drunk Will Smith.
Well, shit. If drunk Will Smith can punch through walls, so can I.
Ox punches through Montana's wall. The three look through the hole, see the bathroom on the other side, and start howling with laughter.
Hey, boss, things go well. You'll be out of this crap hole anyway.
To Will Smith.
To Will Smith.
The three lean back.
What next?
Well, first we gotta figure out what to do with all them guns. I got some ideas in mind.
Don't worry, already got a buyer.
Oh, really? Hope it ain't a competitor.
A contributor who wants to see Martello taken down just as much as we do. Just one of those city elites Martello pissed off and will support us in said endeavor. We met at the bar a couple nights ago.
Then make it clean and make it rain, I'm satisfied. Nice initiative, Danny. We will keep some back for the next phase, though. We need to be taking down Hammerhead's army. The jerk's got outposts all over this city. Let's take them out.
We're leaving a trail of bodies. You realize that, right?
Peyton,
Getting progressively worse.
I'm losing the Terry Crews, and it's becoming more.
It never started as Terry
No,
Crews.
he never
That's why
started as Terry Crews.
He started as like Tomater, and then it got more and more Tomater.
Dude.
It's becoming more and more like the hillbilly fish from the SpongeBob movie who are sitting at the gas stop and smacking their knees and laughing at Patrick and SpongeBob.
It's reminding me though. Did y'all ever play that Hungry Pumpkin game growing up as a kid?
What?
No.
Where it's like a pumpkin, and hold on, here's a video clip. I used to play this all the time.
What the hell is this?
This pumpkin would walk up.
Why you pulled that link up so fast? You had this open on a second monitor, didn't
Yeah.
you? We're sitting here reading a script, and you're playing Hungry Fucking Pumpkin.
Just skip to 20 seconds. You'll see this pumpkin that walks in, and he goes, "I'm very hungry." It's at like 25 seconds in. And his whole purpose is when you're playing the game, he's supposed to go like, "Pass me the salt, give me the butter," and
I can
like,
kind of hear it, yeah.
that's who I was trying to embody the whole time.
Okay, that's keep doing what you're doing.
Now I'm gonna try it since it's Terry Crews. I forgot that it was Terry Crews. Since it's Terry Crews, I'm gonna imagine myself moving my pecs.
Yes, Peyton. If it helps you to play Fox more effectively, just jiggle them titties.
Do not make direct eye contact with me when you do that. Fuck you.
Okay, all right. We're leaving a trail of bodies. You know that, right?
Let's just stick with that voice. Good job.
Okay.
Nothing we ain't done before. I hate to do it, a lot of these guys got families, but if they fire the first shot, we gotta prove we can stay on top. How we've always done it.
We've never been so trigger happy before.
You're committed to taking the top spot then.
I am. We had a good thing going, but the man disrespected us. I want to earn that respect back and then some. We deserve it. Dan stands up, still smiling but a bit shakier. He exchanges a glance with Ox, then goes to get another beer from the fridge.
What will we be getting out of it, though? Equal stake in our own crime family? Or what?
Don't see why not. I'd be calling points, same as usual, but we trust each other. We always have each other's backs.
And targets on our backs.
What was that?
Nothing.
Montana looks out the window of his apartment, where Hammerhead's tower is visible, a blue monolith of a skyscraper. I'll take care of us. You'll see. You're my boys. He puts his arm on the window and sighs. I take care of my boys. Ox and Dan are uneasy, but leave Montana to himself for a moment. The two exchange a look, with Dan making a move to speak, but his words catch in his throat. Ox sighs, stands, and puts a hand on Montana's shoulder.
We're here for you, boss. Where to next?
Montana dries his eyes. He smiles among his comrades. He looks to his Stetson on the ground next to the electro whip. He turns back to his crew, cracks open another beer. We've earned a night to ourselves. We'll be back at it tomorrow. There's a knock at the door. Ox and Dan freeze. Come in. The door opens and Tinkerer pokes her head through the door.
What do you need me to fix?
Nothing.
Told me there was something urgent happening at your homestead.
Montana opens the door and leads her inside. You're darn right it's urgent. Your gizmos is what won us this score tonight. You're welcome to a beer with us any day of the week.
I'm not sure.
Miss Mason, you're a criminal. For a night, it ain't criminal to live like one. The rest of the night passes with the enforcers and the Tinkerer drinking and swapping stories, becoming closer to each other. We even get our court-ordered dance scene with a very drunk, very awkward four-person dance to Beyonce's Texas Hold'em. It is really bad. Cut to another office. This one is ritzier, but much more stuffy and old money. And it is the home of the Manfredi family. There is a large dining room table, and at the head sits Alyssa Manfredi, current head of the family. She is played by Michelle Pfeiffer. Behind her is a massive portrait of her father, the late Silvio Manfredi, also known as Silvermane, who in the portrait looks disturbingly like Christopher Walken. She is eating a steak dinner. Her butler enters. Mom, the three enforcers are here again. Something about a new deal.
Send them in. Why not? I've been awfully bored today.
The butler nods. A moment later, the doors at the end of the table fly open, and the enforcers in their new duds saunter in. A moment of your time, madam. Manfredi laughs heartily.
Oh my! I haven't had a good laugh like that in a while. You three all look adorable. What do you want, Montana?
It ain't Montana no more. The name is... Shocker.
Ah, the cowboy stick was getting a little old. Your new mattress look is fantastic. Not like Dan's fancy new guns, but you aren't getting a job.
We're not here for one, Miss Manfredi. We're here for a proposition.
You aren't getting anything from me.
You might change your tune if you saw this. Ox? Ox takes a duffel bag off his shoulder and slides it down the table dramatically. Manfredi opens it, tentatively, and gasps.
Is this real sable? Only Joseph has his hands on those.
Only the best for a prospective partner. We've got a lot more where that comes from.
Okay, I'll bite. What do you want from me?
If you would, Dan? Dan rounds the table to cut the distance.
What we're looking for, Ms. Manfredi, is support. Not a lot, but enough to keep a roof over our heads for the time being. Just until we take what's ours.
Ooh. I always like it when you take what's yours, Danny.
There is an odd amount of tension between Dan and Manfredi.
Have they?
It's a sales tactic.
Just...
Dan continues to sweet talk Manfredi, and she parries.
And don't worry, I'll be sure to make it all up to you.
Oh, I'm sure you will. Okay, here's what I could do for you, enforcers. I could take my boys off the smaller beats for this time being, pay you back for this impressive firepower. I can't risk a full gang war, of course. But if you can keep me supplied with more of Joseph's wonderful toys, we'll be in business.
Thank you, Miss Manfredi. You won't regret it. And my condolences for your father, Mom.
Oh, he's with us in spirit. Now shoo. My steak's getting cold.
The Enforcers seemingly have their first alliance. Now, they just must keep the momentum. As they leave, Manfredi inputs a code next to the big portrait of Silvio, and the painting slides open, revealing a shiny silver briefcase behind it.
It's a bold move to think you can ally with the people you just robbed.
She opens the case to reveal a small red energy core and studies it for a moment.
Thanks, Dad.
A twofold montage begins. The Enforcers hitting Hammerhead holdouts, Hammerhead becoming more frustrated and pushing the Tinkerer to finish their project. On side 1, the gang are taking legs out from under the operation, hitting gang holdouts, back alley deals, and even stoking fights with other gangs, like Owl and Tombstone. Ox and Dan seemingly have a confusingly large wealth of connections, so they bring Montana to the locations and dates, and Montana plans the hits. They try to be non-lethal, but when push comes to shove, they'll send an electro whip through your nervous system, and the goons are starting to realize that. Some even surrender as soon as the Enforcers show up. Since this is kind of like our fun and games section, I want it to be a lot more than probably I'm describing there. This can be a time to give a lot more time to the relationship between Montana, Ox, and Dan on the field. We can see them pull off moves together. We can see them getting more and more accustomed to using their new weapons, pulling off trick shots like Dan. Ox starts juggling guys.
Hell yeah.
And they're constantly annoyed with Montana and his whip. He is really starting to enjoy the attention that he's getting and the power that is coming from being this new threat to the Hammerhead people. And so, before he leaves anywhere, he always shouts, "And tell him the shocker is on his way." They have become a well-oiled machine, but probably a little too cocky. We could also follow Rodriguez, who has taken an interest in the group as well, connecting the Enforcers directly to his Hammerhead case. Once again, not exactly sure where this could go, but we could give a little bit of a explanation as to Rodriguez being someone who has been following Hammerhead for a long time and has been trying to nail him on literally anything. Could just be because he's a good Fed. Could be that Hammerhead hurt somebody that he cared about or something like that. Either way, we just kind of need that to be there. On side 2, Hammerhead is rapidly tunnel visioning on his own big project, leaving more and more of his men out to dry. Vito and Kay have been the field coordinators, providing a good distraction while he and Tinkerer work. We get bits and pieces of their work as well. We see a silver arm here, a titanium leg there. Is it a mech suit? Whatever it is, it's taken shape. Tinkerer asks him if he's worried about the Enforcers rapidly tearing through his small army. He tells her he isn't.
Men are replaceable. Muscle is a dime a dozen, especially in this city. I'm making sure that'll last. I'm making myself a permanent fixture in this city. And don't worry, I have a plan for those idiots anyway.
Cut to a warehouse somewhere. A big deal is going down tonight. Hammerhead's goons and Manfredi's men. She said she'd stay out of the small ones, but according to Alyssa, Hammerhead is willing to stake his fortune on this deal going through. With that info, the Enforcers watch from the rafters as Hammerhead's men arrive.
What do you think it is?
Elisa didn't say, but that it would be key to the heart of his operations.
Is that all she said before we got here?
She may have mentioned a few other things.
You've got lipstick on your pistol, Fancy Dan.
Montana makes a cut motion across his neck. Focus, boys. They're here. Hammerhead's men arrive, with Vito and Kay leading. Clearly a big deal. They approach Manfredi herself, and a few words are exchanged. Wait for the signal. Manfredi's butler motions to his men, and they produce the object of the deal. A shiny silver briefcase. Identical to the one the Enforcers tried to steal earlier. Probably make it so that there's like a big Manfredi seal on the front, so they know that this is 100% the same one.
Mm-hmm.
They are stunned.
They're just giving it to him?
Wait for the signal. From below, Manfredi says,
And whatever we have here, you're in for quite a shock.
Drop! The Enforcers drop down from the rafters, fists clenched, guns out, and whip crackling. Boys, right here we're in for the score of a lifetime.
Now!
From outside the warehouse and crashing through the ceiling comes a veritable army of Hammerhead goons, each wearing a spiffy chest plate and shiny sidearm. The Manfredi men also raise their guns and train them on the enforcers. They've been had.
What? But put the toys down. They won't do you any good anymore.
Manfredi! Alyssa Manfredi laughs, once again loud and clear.
Mr. Shocker, you're forgetting some of your old boss's history. Joseph came up in my family. He was such a sweet boy, too. If you disrespect him, you disrespect me.
Elisa.
Oh, Danny. We had some lovely times, didn't we? Times? I doubt I'll be able to find someone with your energy again. Now you make sure this case gets straight to Joseph. My father would have never...
You know, I think I recognize that case.
Hmm?
That's the case we stole just a bit ago, actually. On order from one Mr. Joseph Martello, I believe. Manfredi looks between the case and Hammerhead's men. Vito and Kay glower.
You mean to tell me you all didn't even think to ask the first time? That being polite was your backup option?
Manfredi, please.
Well, deal's off, I'm afraid. What, does loyalty mean nothing anymore?
Once again, the doors crash open and all hell breaks loose. The warehouse is suddenly swarmed by FBI agents. Hammerhead's goons open fire and Manfredi's men try to back away with the case. The enforcers are caught in the middle of a firefight, dazed and confused. It is a madhouse. Guys are falling left and right.
Get the case. It's the only thing that matters.
Kay, seeing an opening, fires. Alyssa Manfredi goes down, and the case falls out of her hands. We'll take this time to focus on Vito and Kay as combatants, too. They are incredible, brutalizing anybody unfortunate enough to get in their way. Ox, Dan, and Montana fight towards the case, but Montana takes a glancing shot to the side. Stumbling, he slings his whip like a lasso towards the case, but he again fails. Kay grabs the case, and the whip bounces off of her arm, ricocheting and electrocuting Montana himself. He's down for the count. The Hammerheads and the Manfredis escape, leaving behind a pile of bodies, the corpse of Alyssa Manfredi, and 3 dejected enforcers. The last thing Montana sees before blacking out is Agent Rodriguez standing over him. End of Act 2.
Wunderbar job, Noah.
I got nothing, man. This is all good stuff.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying this. I forgot just how strong your Act 2 of this was. Thinking about your older pitch, like El Muerto, because we've only done 2 pitches so far. Thinking about El Muerto, that one, for me, the Act 2 of that, it's good. It's really good. But, like, we were still trying to find our sea legs with this whole idea. And I think here you really excel in writing like a really solid Act 2 that explains a lot of these character traits and then also introduces some new power players like Alyssa. And I'm kind of sad that she's gone. Though I will say that this has been a great year for like women mob bosses with the Falcone character and the Penguin.
Oh, yeah.
Immediately I'm reminded of her, even though that you wrote this before the Penguin had even released. Yeah, I'm really enjoying this.
Fantastic. Okay. Act 3 of Shocker and the Enforcers. We open to 3 jail cells, each holding a depressed member of the Enforcers. Ox paces back and forth. Dan lies still on the cot. Montana's back is to us, his head against the wall. He does not have his cowboy hat. The silence is deafening. Boys,
Sorry. We know.
You haven't said anything else for the last 5 hours. I'm trying to think.
But escape? I've already been thinking and nothing's coming.
Not the only one with a brain, you know.
Dan grabs the cell door and looks towards his boss's cell.
Come to think of it, why are you the leader? All you do is waltz around like you're playing cops and robbers, acting like you're one of the big shots, ready to play with people's lives on a way bigger scale than you realize. You got Elisa killed for one. You screwed up our lives for another, but guess what? If we had taken control of Hammerhead's operation, we'd be screwing up the lives of an entire city.
Ox thinks for a moment, pauses, and then joins Dan.
Yeah, Dan's got a point. You pulled us in, but we're goons, Montana. We punch people. We shake them down for lunch money. And we were good at it until you started thinking we're something we're not. We were safe there, man. We had some scrapes, sure, but nothing like this.
Montana walks to the door as well. I was trying to look out for my boys. Yeah, I screwed up with Hammerhead and lost us the job, but we don't deserve to be the trash they all throw out. We deserve more. And as Shocker,
You're not Shocker. You're not even Montana. Your name is Jack. The big guy isn't Ox, he's Ray. And I'm not Fancy Dan. I'm just Dan. Gimmicks, man. All of your gimmicks just feed into your delusions of grandeur. This hasn't been about what we want. It's just been what you want. We aren't your boys.
And maybe it's time to back off.
another silence. No, he's right. Y'all ain't my boys. I did have boys, so Lee and John. They was good boys, too. A lot for one guy to handle, especially in my line of work. They didn't know, of course. One night we watched Fistful of Dollars with Eastwood. All three of us loved it, and the cowboy gig became our thing. You'd be surprised, but I was always the cop. They were always the robbers. It was fun. As this monologue continues, Montana's accent slips away from the heavy country affectation to a more middle America tone. They ain't here no more. My fault. I didn't take care of them like I should have. It wasn't until I fell in with you chuckleheads that I felt like I had something to protect again. So you're right, I strung y'all wrong and it's not fair. I got lost in my own head and saw a chance to be something I'm not. A boss. I didn't think things through, and I'm deeply sorry. But if you'll forgive me, I still care about y'all like you're my sons. Silence.
I think I'm older than you, Jack.
That ain't the point, and you know it, dumbass. Ox returns to pacing, almost at a fevered pitch. Dan leans a little lighter against the door. He opens his mouth to speak, deeply affected by what Montana said, before an FBI agent steps into the room.
Mr. Bryce, Agent Rodriguez would like to talk.
Montana smirks. I wondered how long that would take. Montana sits in the interrogation room, and Rodriguez enters shortly after.
Well, I see the Hammerhead deal worked out great for you three.
Kicking a man while he's down ain't very gentlemanly.
And ruining an FBI raid with a glow stick ain't very swell either.
Y'all would have been mincemeat if we hadn't riled up the Manfredis. But because you showed up and stomped all over the place, one of the heads, a close personal friend I might add, is 6 feet under and we're both out a shiny briefcase. Rodriguez sits down.
Do you know what's in the case?
I do not.
Well, one of your close personal friends does. Bring her in.
The interrogation door opens and Tinkerer is shoved inside. The door slams behind her. Miss Mason! Ain't you a sight for sore eyes?
I'm risking a lot for this, including arrest. If you want to take down Hammerhead, you must do it tonight. He has the final piece to his project, and I can't stall any longer.
What is the project?
An old plan from Silvio Manfredi. Both men were terrified of losing relevance as time goes on, and more special people started flooding the city. Before he died, Manfredi had me draft a sort of exoskeleton to keep him alive. I was only able to construct the power core from the suit before his death. That's what's in the case. The heart of Silvermane. Texas, we need any information you got on Hammerhead so we're able to take him down. If you cooperate, we may be able to reduce the sentences of you and your partners.
Montana thinks for a moment and leans forward. Here's the deal, take it or leave it. You help us, you let us help you with whatever raid you're planning. We get our gear, we storm the castle, we take down Hammerhead, leave him alive, and you get to cut him away.
You are still a wanted criminal.
Take me in, I don't care. Been more trouble than I'm worth lately. But whatever happens, let Ox and Dan walk. Rodriguez considers the proposal and then nods.
Hammerhead and his men alive. We'll run cleanup afterwards.
You won't regret it.
Better not, Montana.
Cut to the cells. The cell doors open and Ox and Dan step out and are greeted by their boss.
How in the world?
I cut a deal. He pulls the three into a huddle, an arm on each shoulder. One last job. And that's the deal. If we take out Hammerhead, we'll be free to walk. I know y'all hate my guts right now, and as soon as we're done. We never have to see each other ever again. Can we square that? Ox and Dan exchange a glance before putting their hands on Montana's shoulder.
Fine. One last job.
I can square that.
Let's put the enforcers on the map once and for all. Fade 2, Montana's apartment. Just before the battle, Montana goes to his apartment. Knowing he likely won't be able to come back anytime soon if the deal goes through, he grabs a few things. His toothbrush, for one. The last thing he picks up is the picture of Lee and John from his nightstand. He smiles and stashes the photo, along with a second, new photo. A selfie of the three enforcers and Tinkerer from their wind night. He turns off the light, and the apartment is once again bathed in a lonely neon yellow glow. Hammerhead's tower. The plan is such. Tinkerer walks the three inside, disguised as Hammerhead goons, with the plastic armor and guns. They deliver a shipment of parts to Tinkerer's lab on the top floor, which is just their tech. The lab is in a glass-walled area adjacent to Hammerhead's office, so the blue light seeps into the stark white environment. Tinkerer plans to corrupt the project, but as soon as she gets to the lab, it's gone.
Ah! Come to witness the opening act, I presume. I thought I'd get started without you.
But the energy core, I hadn't been able to install it yet.
Oh, you mean the heart? Yeah. Pot wired a few cars in my day. How different could this be?
Clanking footsteps are heard, and from around the corner walks Hammerhead 2.0. It is Hammerhead rocking some extensive cybernetic augmentation. Armored limbs, armor to match the rest of his army, and nodes sticking out of his forehead. Metal conductors, maybe? Underneath the armor on the left side of his chest is a red, pulsing energy. Some of this crackling energy dances through the conductors sticking out of his forehead.
With the installations we'd already done, I just needed to slap the heart on with some duct tape, and bada bing, bada boom. Ties the whole thing together.
Hammerhead begins to cross the lab. He has been made much taller, and now towers over the Tinkerer.
I appreciate the help, Tinkerer. Because of you, I think I can finally match pace with that alien weirdo, the vampire, the octopus, heck, even that spider freak. But I also know you've been sneaking behind my back.
What? I...
Don't play dumb. Where else were the enforcers going to get their toys if not from you? I can't exactly toss you out of the window until you were able to get all this workable, but now...
Hammerhead moves to grab Tinkerer, but a purple energy blast glances off his shoulder armor.
Speak of the devils.
The enforcers emerge from the shadows, fully dressed and ready to rumble. This is their big trailer pose moment. We'd like to tender our formal resignation, Hammerhead. We think it'll be mutually beneficial for both parties.
That makes literally no sense. I already fired you.
We're resigning in spirit.
Okay, Vito, okay. In my office, please.
Hammerhead swings his arm and Tinkerer goes flying across her lab. She is knocked out.
I'll admit, guys, I never thought you had it in you. You've done a lot for your cause, but it's moved from charming to deeply frustrating. You couldn't have picked a worse time to pick a fight.
Editor's note, this is the final battle. My big struggle here is explaining the fight itself, so in your mind just imagine the most epic final fight you've ever seen.
Got it.
I see laser sharks.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sick. All right.
Yeah.
Dope.
That's what Vito and Kay are actually. This whole time they've just been walking laser sharks.
Hell yeah!
Overbearing assistance.
Yep. Hammerhead's new suit is a tank. He plows through the lab easily, taking on the three enforcers all at once. They fall into their roles like clockwork. Ox is the wall, Dan taking pot shots, and Montana going for the disable. At the moment, I guess you could imagine Hammerhead and Ox grappling as Dan tries to take as many shots as he can at Hammerhead's exposed head. But this suit, it moves much faster than it has any right to as well. So he's able to block as many shots as Dan throws at him. Remember, the deal is that he has to be taken alive as well. The fight is going well until Hammerhead seizes Montana's arm.
I can see why they call you Shaka. You want to know why they call me Hammerhead?
Montana is headbutted so hard he flies backward, crashing through the glass doors of the lab, resting by Hammerhead's desk. Just then, Vito and Kay arrive, each with a firearm of their own. Ox and Dan exit the lab to take on the mini-bosses, while a shaky Montana fights Hammerhead alone.
Just go down, Montana. You're out of your league.
Am not. You said yourself that you climbed your way to the top. We're two peas in a pod, you and I.
Not a chance.
The duel is fast and snappy, but if Hammerhead lands even one hit, the fight will be over. His punches smash the ground, and Montana is just able to roll away. But he notices the red power core. If he can just get access.
This suit can take on Spider-Man himself. And you think you can destroy it?
3 of us have taken on your entire operation and come out with barely a scratch. I think we'll be just fine. Ox and Dan's fights against Vito and Kay are tough, but prove that the two enforcers have honed some incredible teamwork over the years, even if they're constantly fighting. This would be another good place to tie back into some of the montage from earlier, paying off some of the training with their new tech that Dan and Ox have completed. So, more trick shots? Maybe. Ox holds up his big gauntlets like a wall, and Dan is able to fire shots that glance off the gauntlets and hit Vito and Kay.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I like
kind of
that.
thing.
That'd be cool.
Just bouncing around. They win, but it's got to be a cool fight.
Mm-hmm.
And then throughout the fight, Montana notices the nodes flashing on Hammerhead's head. He expertly wraps the whip around one of the nodes. Metal is conductive, am I right? Hammerhead screams in pain as the electro whip sends a current all through his body, amplified by the metal in his head. He falls to his knees. Dan, now! Dan nods and from across the room, throws one of his pistols to his boss. Montana smiles and aims.
I thought guns what you think.
Yeah, well, gimmick ain't everything. He shoots the heart of Silvermane, which explodes and causes all of Hammerhead's cybernetics to short circuit. He falls on his back, unable to move, sparks flying from the nodes on his forehead. Ox and Dan walk up.
Is he dead?
Nah, I saw his eye twitch. Probably just a stroke or something.
He's done, that's for darn sure. Montana hands Dan his pistol. Thanks for the assist.
Well, never bring your own anyway.
Montana dials a number on his phone. Rodriguez, job's done. He's all yours. Later, Rodriguez and his men arrive. Montana is sitting at Hammerhead's desk, goggles removed, cowboy hat still on, obviously, flanked by his 2 pals. As the FBI cart off Hammerhead, Vito and Kay, Rodriguez approaches the desk.
I appreciate the help, Mr. Bryce. I'm trying to nail down Joseph Martello for years.
Nail down. That's clever.
As it pertains to our deal,
Montana stands up and offers his hands to be cuffed. At least let me say goodbye to these two. Ox and Dan again share a glance.
I thought we were all going free.
not with the original deal. Mr. Bryce agreed to take the hit so you all could walk. Montana. Except,
Except?
willing to fudge the numbers a bit. We'll say in the official report that you 3 escaped during the chaos. We'll be watching you closely. Honestly, though, you're the enforcers. What's the harm you can do?
Agent Stroud, also from Morbius and played by Tyrese Gibson, steps up to Rodriguez.
Let's get this wrapped up. He just got word from the hospital. He's finally awake.
About time. Let's keep the shades closed. Don't want him disintegrating before we get our answers.
Rodriguez and the FBI leave. Into a sequel somewhere. Montana settles back into his chair, relieved. Well, now that's just peachy. I really didn't want to take that hit. Montana spins in his chair, completely relaxed for the very first time. He looks out over the New York City skyline, content. It was the finest hour for us enforcers, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
2 pistols cock.
It was.
On either side, Dan's glowing pistols are held to Montana's temples. A wave of emotion flies through the cowboy's face. Before resigned disappointment settles. Couldn't square it, huh? The decision is destroying both Ox and Dan, but they feel they must go through with it. Outside of Montana's view, Dan is tearing up. Ox's teeth are gritted tightly. The tension holds in the image of the 2 boys betraying their leader for quite some time. Until,
Sublime, boys. Got him right where I need him.
from the hallway comes a large man in a pitch black tuxedo with a brilliant white undershirt. Gold buttons and cufflinks break up the darkness. A shiny bald head crowns this king.
Thank you for clearing the way. Getting my hands dirty isn't my style.
This is Liev Schreiber, very bald, reprising an old role. A gold kingpin title flashes across the screen.
Wasn't sure it'd be so easy to break up the enforcers. Well, c'est la vie. Guess you never can know who your true fans are.
Ox and Dan can barely take it anymore. Montana's chair is still facing the skyline. Whatever score we have would reach a fevered tempo until the tune resolves with silence after. Dan and Ox simultaneously turn their guns on Kingpin, solidifying their stance with their leader. Too late. 2 shots are fired, and Ox and Dan fall dead on the floor, blood dripping on either side of Montana.
Well, they never were the brains of the operation. But you,
Kingpin strides right up to the desk and spins the chair to face him. Montana inside it has been silently crying, tears streaming down his face. 2 of Kingpin's men with the smoking guns enter from the hallway, along with Kingpin's assistant.
you, however, Mr. Bryce. Montana. No, you're calling yourself Shaka now. Shaka, you've successfully toppled an empire with nothing more than your wits and a nifty suit. How would you like a job with me, your new kingpin of crime?
Montana makes a pained scoff. Like I told Hammerhead, we're done being cronies.
We?
We. Don't be making any offers of employment when you just shot my 2 best partners. Kingpin's face darkens.
Really should have been quieter in that bar. These men betrayed you that night as soon as you passed out. They've been feeding you info. My info. From the very beginning. Hell, they were just holding guns to your head.
Maybe. A beat. Montana spits in Kingpin's face. But they're still my boys. Kingpin roars. He grabs Montana and hurls him. Montana crashes through the top floor's window and falls out of sight. Kingpin stands in the office, breathing heavily. He wipes the spit off his forehead and turns to his assistant.
Wesley, start cleaning this place up. Top to bottom, scrub Hammerhead from the foundations. This will be the new Fisk Tower.
Yes, sir. And your plans with the shocker?
Montana squandered his potential. However,
Kingpin glances at the lab across the way, where the unconscious body of the Tinkerer is still visible, forgotten in the mess.
why take one Shaka? You can have an army.
As the Kingpin plots his next move as the new power in New York City, we pan outside of the building, dropping down through the neon blue, and finally find a yellow whip wrapped around the scaffold of the tower. Hanging on for dear life, bruised, bloodied, and broken, is Montana. But he'll be going by his new name from now on. Shocker says, well, shit. Cut to black, and we get our final title card. Shocker.
Me likey.
I like it. The twist at the end here is it comes out of nowhere.
It's a rug pull.
It's a rug pull, total rug pull. But then when you find out that pretty much the moment that Montana mentioned going against Hammerhead, they immediately were like, nope, not doing that. Ratting him out right away. Sheesh, man. Montana cared for you people, you assholes.
I don't know if they're assholes in particular.
They ratted him out the moment he decided he wanted to try and do something more.
At the same time, I think that they were also looking out for their own skin, especially in a crime thing like this.
Fat lot of good that did him.
Yeah.
Noah's over there laughing.
Oh man. I know it's controversial, but that twist is what I wrote this entire movie around.
I remember.
Yeah.
You started this whole pitch with the idea of like Dan and Ox betray Montana to the Kingpin.
Yeah. That's exactly what I started this with. And it started as a much more comedic thing, but as I was writing, I was like, no, I need this to like actually hurt by the end.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So what I really wanted to get across in this story, I find it so fascinating, following any kind of goon character or like just the muscle, the people who in any movie are supposed to be beaten up in the first 15 minutes,
Mm.
and then that's it for them. But basing an entire movie on the muscle that's supposed to get thrown out of the way as soon as they're introduced was a really fun challenge,
Mm-hmm.
because you kind of get to dive into the fact of like, so how would just the henchman, the KG Beast in Dawn of Justice, or the any of the other 2-bit crooks try to prove that they're worth something in a city like New York. And another one of the big inspirations is the idea that New York City changes and grows with the introduction of like all of the costumed freaks and everything, and kind of the changing of the guard that you have, where you have the general criminal empires and gangsters and stuff like that being phased out essentially in favor of octopuses and goblins and symbiotes and stuff like that, which is the biggest thing that I took from Spectacular Spider-Man, along with the fact that Montana becomes the Shocker for some inexplicable reason.
Yeah, that was my only real knowledge of the character Montana prior to his appearance with this podcast, was that I remembered him from Spectacular Spider-Man, and I know he eventually became Shocker.
Yep.
And I know that's not really lore in the comics, but or at least I don't think it is, but that's the one I'm familiar with, and I think a lot of people who kind of grew up with that show or who are around our age range will kind of remember that.
And I think that the image of Shocker with a cowboy hat is
Mm-hmm.
just so fun.
I'm admittedly only familiar with Shocker from the Spider-Man game, like PS4, and like just in like the books themselves. Shocker is usually used as that character to like be like, man, this guy's a loser, isn't he? Like, like regularly, Shocker is the one villain Spider-Man is regularly used to be like the loser guy. And I feel like if this movie was actually like announced, the initial backlash, because the regular thing is to really hate on the Sony Marvel movies, and well earned, but they would probably be like, why would they make a movie based off of the loser super villain? And it's like, I mean, this is pretty cool. Like, this is a really good idea. And the enforcers themselves, I mean, they're also kind of joke characters. And so you took these like joke characters and kind of made something really interesting out of them. It kind of reminds me of like back in 2016, DC Comics did a thing with Hanna-Barbera that did like a Hanna-Barbera Rebirth thing. And they did a serious depiction of like wacky racers, but it was like done in the style of Mad Max. Like it was ridiculous stuff like that, but it was like taking these ridiculous comedic ideas and going, what can we do seriously about this? And I think you succeeded in that. I think that this was really fun.
I appreciate it. Like when it comes to comic media, one of my biggest influences is James Gunn,
Mhm.
and so there's a lot of Guardians in this too, of just the loser characters trying to come together to prove that there's something. So I won't deny that that's a big part of the DNA as well. Through this process, I really came to love the Enforcers as a concept and just as characters. Um, I'll be happy to see where they show up next in the books. Ox and Dan, unfortunately, won't be making another appearance, but Montana will be sticking around.
Bet learning to love them made it a lot harder to do what you did, evil man,
Yeah.
sick freak.
You guys want to get to the post credits?
Yes.
Kingpin has invited a black suited motorcyclist to the lab, still wearing a helmet, the same cyclist from the beginning of the movie. The two peruse the lab where Tinkerer is finally allowed to build her wildest ideas and concepts. You can tell that she really has been hampered by Hammerhead's restrictions of the very clean, like Montana called it, iPhone aesthetics. And so now that she has her own lab and space to move, Kingpin is allowing her to pretty much just go wild. Everything is much more industrial, and we pass a wall of half-built shocker gauntlets.
Now that your deal with the Manfredis is so tragically defaulted, I wanted to grant you a position with my new enterprise.
I appreciate the offer, Fisk.
Your driving skills are quite impressive. We're willing to furnish you with any vehicular upgrades you could dream of.
The driver picks up a blueprint from the table, one of the Tinkerer's more insane concepts. The driver removes his helmet to reveal Chase Crawford of the Deep fame, mugging to the camera with a face as serious as death.
I want a big wheel.
Cut to black. The end.
Oh no, Chase Crawford as Big Wheel. It's one of those insane picks. Can you imagine? It's on the level of like Hypno Hustler. Like even like there's a range of wild ass pick that Sony could make when they were announcing movies. There was the Venoms and the Cravens, and then there was like the Madam Webs and the Hypno Hustlers, where you went, what the hell? Big Wheel would be on that side of the spectrum. Imagine if Sony came out and they were like, Big Wheel movie, it's coming out. Everybody would be like, what?
Yeah, that's my next pitch, actually.
Ain't no way.
It's not actually.
Thank you.
But yes, you're welcome. I have officially introduced Big Wheel into the Spum Has to Do with Spider-Man series.
Wonderful.
And it's Chase
I-
Crawford.
I would appreciate thanks and praise because of that. I was the only one brave enough to do this.
I respect it. Thank
I
you,
certainly
Noah.
wasn't gonna.
And come on, this is just how you do storytelling. Like we have the motorcyclist in the beginning who just disappears. Can't just leave that thread hanging.
Chekhov's motorcyclist that appears.
Chekhov's motorcyclist who was actually Big Wheel the whole time.
Chekhov's Big Wheel.
Chekhov's Jackson Wheel.
This is ridiculous.
Yes.
Do we wanna
I
end it
love it.
now?
Yeah.
If you can, we're starting to wind down. It's after 11 here my time, so I know we
Yep.
probably at least two of us probably sounded a little exhausted there by the end, but we do genuinely really like this pitch. It's just also the fact that most of it we had already heard before, but so a lot of this was unfortunately just trying to get a proper recording of it so that you guys
Yep.
could all listen to it and enjoy it just as much as we did.
Right.
But yes, I am very, very proud of the final product. I was when I first wrote it, and I still am, which doesn't always happen. And like taking a second look at it, I still think it's very solid.
I'm excited
Um,
to see where these characters go from here. Like Shocker now is still alive. Kingpin seems to want to build an army of of people with like crazy tech based abilities as part of his criminal empire.
Mm-hmm.
Where does Montana go after this? Where does Shocker go after this?
Where does Big Woe go after this?
Where does Big Wheel go after this? Who knows where Big Wheel goes after this?
What if Chase Crawford also had a southern accent?
What if they're brothers?
No.
Okay. Well, guys, thank you very much for listening.
It's been a pleasure as always.
So the question I want to ask you, did this have to do with Spider-Man, you think?
He's mentioned a few times. And also just other than that, overall this story could have very easily included Spider-Man just because it deals so heavily with like criminal underworlds and like secret missions and stakeouts, and it's a lot of stuff that you would normally find in like, it reminds me of missions in like the Spider-Man PS4 game where he breaks up like an arms
Yeah.
deal or stuff like that. It would have been very easy to include him here briefly, but I applaud the lack of, because I think that's what makes this parts of what makes this universe so interesting, is trying to see how these characters interact when Spider-Man's not around. Not to say that he isn't, but there's a lot of times where he's not. So
And if you guys couldn't tell, there was absolutely a ton of Spider-Man PS4
I
influence with
appreciate
Hammerhead.
that.
I mean, the whole Hammerhead becomes a mech is taken directly from the Spider-Man PS4 DLC, because I think that idea is hilarious.
Alrighty.
Okay. Well, I do not really know what my next pitch will be. I think the next one that we're going to be doing is one of Jarrett's.
Indeed, yes.
Yep.
Jarrett, would you like to explain?
Our next pitch will be a follow-up to the Morbius film, the much loved and desperately asked for sequel to Morbius.
Yep.
Not a straight sequel. We'll save that for later. This is a direct follow-up to the post-credit scene from Morbius that everybody loved and cherished so much, and and everybody was desperate to know, where are they going? What are they going to do with this? Why are they doing this? Please don't do this. And we're going to do it. I'm going to do it. Our next pitch is The Vulture.
We're committing to the bit.
Starring Michael Keaton, Adrian Toomes, who is lost in a new world, fish out of water, trying to figure out his place in this new world, this new universe, and maybe cause a little mayhem along the way.
Hell yeah.
Cannot wait. We commit to the bit on this podcast.
Oh yeah. That's what makes it fun. You're not gonna drop something as batshit as the end credit scene of Morbius and not follow that up.
Everything
Absolutely.
is canon.
Absolutely. It's all
Everything.
connected.
And then after that is our Phase 1 finale.
Phase 1 crossover, you could say.
Phase 1 crossover finale, which we will announce at the end of the next episode.
Yes, we will.
2 weeks from when this goes live.
I cannot wait. I'm so excited.
I love this project.
Special thanks to Dylan Roth for making the intro music.
Absolutely.
And also, if you want to keep up with everything that's going on with this podcast, you can follow our Substack for free. Just look up Has to Do with Spider-Man, I think, on Substack. We'll be posting some more like bonus material there as we start to have more material to upload. I imagine anything that potentially, if the crossover film gets too big for itself, that a lot of stuff will get pared down. That'll kind of be added in. Certain the first draft of Prowlers we've talked about uploading. Certain stuff like that will be put there, and as well as just some updates on occasion, just to keep you guys informed and up to date with the plans moving forward.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you guys so much for listening. We're going to see you guys in 2 weeks for my pitch. I'm so excited to share it, and y'all have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Have a good night.